At the center of the Christian faith is a man named Jesus. He wasn't afraid to talk about issues that other people avoid. Jesus said some of the most outrageous things that I've ever heard. In John 14:6, he's quoted saying, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." This statement was controversial 2,000 years ago when Jesus first said it, and it's still controversial today. We want to crack open each of those statements and see what Jesus is saying.
Jesus says, "I am the way." But what does that mean for someone to say, "I am the way"? What is he the way to?
I know a man named David who has a really remarkable life. And hearing him talk about it really helps me understand this idea of Jesus being the way.
When I was young, at the age of about 12, my mother had a major nervous breakdown and she was hospitalized for extended periods of time. My father also struggled with alcoholism. I had two brothers and we were basically left in many ways to raise ourselves. Going to bed at night at the age of about 12, my mother, she tried to kill herself. My father was out drinking. And I remember through my tears saying, "God, if you're there, I hate you." I so hated God. I was so angry at God. I was so filled with bitterness and resentment. Those experiences marked me, and I decided the childhood that I had was not going to be my life. At the age of 18, I committed to the idea of becoming a millionaire by the age of 30. I was this ambitious, want to be a millionaire by the age of 30 kind of guy during the day, and at night I hung out with drug users and I scored dope and dealt dope and did whatever I had to do to keep that life going. The idea of being a millionaire had been achieved. I could go where I want, when I wanted. I had way more money than I ever hoped for, but I wasn't happy. And I realized that there's still a deep darkness inside of me, a void. I have epilepsy, and for some reason, I started having seizures more frequently. We have a lady who worked for us at that time in our home. Her name is Bonnie, and she was a very sweet lady, a Christian lady. Bonnie saw me after having a seizure one day, and she called my wife and she said that God had told her to come pray for me. And I said, well, I know it's not going to do any good, but I like Bonnie. So she prayed for us. And for some reason, I cried through that process. Didn't know why I was crying, but Bonnie left and we thanked her for coming over. So the next day, I saw a friend, a neighbor, who went to the same church Bonnie does. And I asked my friend, I said, "Hey, are you going to church tomorrow?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, do you mind if I come with you?" He says, "Sure." He was quite happy to bring me. So the next morning, we're standing in church together. And as the worship music begins, for some reason, I begin crying. And I don't know why I want to cry, but I'm crying and I can't control myself. And I'm doing everything in my power not to cry, but tears are running down my face. And in that moment, for the first time, his love for me was so real. The reality that he loved me was nothing short of completely and totally mind-blowing.
You might have heard of a band called Queen before. They're famous for songs like "We Will Rock You" or "Bohemian Rhapsody."
Yeah, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Another one, Bites the Dust.
Right.
Flash.
Yeah.
Under Pressure. Don't Stop Me Now.
Yeah.
We're the Champions.
Yeah. Ben,
Bicycle.
Ben, we know you love to rock,
Seven
man.
Seas of Rock.
This guy loves Queen. Anyways, the lead singer...
Can't Stop Loving You.
The lead singer of a band, Queen, Freddie Mercury, is one of the biggest names in music. Even though he made millions of dollars and had millions of fans, those things didn't make him happy. In an interview shortly before his death, he admitted that he was lonely. He said, "You can have everything in the world and still be the loneliest man. And that's the most bitter type of loneliness. Success has brought me world idolization and millions of dollars, but it's prevented me from having the one thing we all need, a loving, ongoing relationship." When Jesus said, "I am the way," he was responding to that need. He's saying, I am the way to a loving and lasting relationship with God.
So I've heard of people saying that they know if something is true, but I've never heard of anyone claiming to be the truth. But Jesus goes on to say, "I am the truth."
I want to clarify this word truth because it can mean different things for different people. Maybe you've heard somebody say, "Well, that's true for you, but I don't personally believe it." Now this sounds polite, but it falls apart quickly. If we're talking about facts, if something's true, isn't it true for everyone? And if something's not true, isn't it not true for anyone?
For example, imagine you find yourself on the edge of a cliff and someone says, "I believe I can fly, I'm going to jump." You wouldn't be like, "Well, that might be true for you, but I don't personally believe it." No, you'd say, "Don't jump, you're crazy." Whether you believe in gravity or not, it's real. And when we talk about the message of Christianity, we're not talking about something that's only true for a select group of people. The author of the Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis, put it this way: Christianity is a statement which, if false, is of no importance, and if true, of infinite importance. The one thing it cannot be is moderately important.
So much of the world has been shaped by people who believe that Jesus really is the truth. Some people say that faith and science can't mix, but some of the most influential voices in science throughout history have been Christians. Galileo and Copernicus, Newton and Mendel. I'm personally inspired by Francis Collins. He was the director of the Human Genome Project, a project that's at the forefront of scientific discovery about our DNA. He's one of the most respected geneticists in the world. And in one of his books, he writes about how he became a Christian without having to compromise his intellect. Some people think that any intelligent person could not believe in Jesus. But history has been influenced by brilliant men and women who believe and continue to believe that faith and science complement one another.
When Jesus said that he was the truth, he was talking about more than intellectual truth. He wasn't just talking about knowing something with our minds, but also with our hearts. There's a big difference between knowing facts about someone and knowing them personally. For example, I know a lot about Oprah because Jay here doesn't stop talking about her. Yeah, pulling out the wallet.
Me and Oprah, Vancouver,
Seen the picture a couple times today already. Thanks, man.
It's a good one.
It's a good one of you and Opes.
Anyways.
If I saw Oprah in the street, I'd recognize her, but she wouldn't recognize me because there's a big difference between knowing about someone and actually knowing them. In Jesus, we discover that truth isn't just a set of ideas, but a person that you can know. Christianity isn't about memorizing a set of rules, but about knowing God personally through Jesus.
I could ask God one thing. Why he chooses to base everything off faith? I'd probably just go with why.
Probably just the generic, what is the purpose of all of this?
Why is there terrorism?
Probably what happens after you die.
What happens after we die?
Maybe just like the things that I've been struggling with in my life. Maybe, just a word from him about how to get beyond that.
What should I do next?
Why are you so obsessed with being praised all the time?
What's going on?
What happens when I die?
Why haven't you shown us yourself?
I'm interested in how the universe was created and what is after you die.
Why are there so many frailties with the planet?
I'd ask him, come on, tell me the truth. Is Earth really it? Is it the only life planet? Come on.